Welcome, everyone. I'm Vesna Dokmanovich, nurse practitioner and founder of a virtual metabolic health clinic. Today, we'll explore the connection between metabolic health and brain health and how insulin resistance may influence dementia risk. Many experts now believe prevention and risk reduction may offer our greatest opportunity to combat dementia. Brain tissue has insulin receptors. Every thought, memory, and movement requires energy. Problems may develop when neurons cannot access energy efficiently. Glucose is needed to help cells grow, repair, communicate, and survive. It's important for mood and mental health. It's important to note glucose does not need to be derived from the diet. Our liver makes the glucose that our brain needs. There is no reason to eat sugar or carbohydrate. Insulin has a role in several diseases of the brain: dementia, all three of the dementias, depression, anxiety, ADHD, bipolar, schizophrenia, and autism. There are several different forms of dementia, each with different root causes. Insulin resistance has been found to play a strong role in Alzheimer's type dementia and vascular dementia, even more than age. Think of insulin as a key and the receptor as a lock. Over time, the lock becomes less responsive and the body produces more insulin. Alzheimer's dementia accounts for 80% of all dementia cases. The strongest factor is a mutation in a gene for ApoE4. 15% of people have this. ApoE4 is a substance that prevents the accumulation of plaques and tangles. It cleans up the brain when it forms the plaques and tangles that prevent the brain from functioning properly in terms of learning and memory. It's also thought to cause the overactivity of a protein called tau, which causes tangling of the protein and disrupts nerve structure and function. The brain has two energy pathways. It can use both glucose and ketones for energy. When the brain is insulin resistant, it causes starvation of the brain cells in two ways. The sugar from the blood cannot move into the brain cell, and we see that its function deteriorates. High insulin also prevents ketones from forming, and therefore this method of fueling the brain is shut off. We discussed how excess insulin affects blood vessels in the body in the talks on cardiovascular disease. The same thing happens in the blood vessels of the brain. When there are plaques in the vessel walls, blood has a hard time getting to the brain and function decreases. Further, plaques can break off, causing small areas of death to parts of the brain. These are called transient ischemic attacks, TIAs, or mini strokes, or full strokes, cerebral vascular accidents. Strokes and TIAs cause brain tissue to die and become non-functional. There is a new field of psychiatry called metabolic psychiatry, where diet is used to improve mental illness. The strongest evidence in metabolic psychiatry comes from dietary improvement generally. Several randomized trials have shown that Mediterranean-style dietary interventions can improve depression symptoms. Evidence for low carbohydrate and ketogenic diets is growing but remains less extensive. Ketones may bypass some aspects of impaired glucose metabolism and provide an alternative energy source for the brain. The proposed mechanisms include improved mitochondrial function, reduced oxidative stress, lower inflammation, neurotransmitter effects. Studies thus far have shown impressive improvements in some patients with bipolar, schizophrenia, depression, and anxiety. Improving metabolic health may reduce important risk factors for cognitive decline. It's never too late. The brain remains adaptable, and risk reduction is worthwhile. Thank you for listening, and join me next time for the final video in this educational series about the different diseases that the modern diet and insulin resistance causes, when I discuss the link between the modern diet and cancer.